Hi, welcome to week 15. This week we are looking at chapter 15, What Next, which takes a speculative look at the future of terrorism. Martin's opening story is about Carnivore, an FBI surveillance program that could monitor internet communications. The reporting at the time, which was in July of 2000, suggested that the FBI could use Carnivore without obtaining a warrant, that the FBI had avoided media demands for documents under Freedom of Information Act filings. By various civil liberties advocacy groups, and that the program had already been through a testing phase and had exceeded expectations. Unsurprisingly, the reporting was imperfect. Carnivore didn't work nearly as effectively as the FBI hoped, and was frequently intercepting emails of innocent internet users. This got the attention of the leadership in the DOJ. And to quote Martin, angered the DOJ's Office of Intelligence Policy and Review. Needless to say, the people in the OIPR are not the folks you want angry with you. By early 2001, the FBI felt compelled to change the name of Carnivore to DCS 1000. And the FBI's use of the system was, you might say, considerably more circumspect going forward. The fact that the FBI and the intelligence community have such collection systems shouldn't really surprise anyone, nor should anyone be shocked at the discovery of such a system that would be reported the way it was by the media. I think this kind of push-pull will be an important aspect of U.S. counterterrorism policy going forward, as law enforcement seeks newer ways of identifying and interdicting terrorist threats. And civil liberties groups in the media continue to push back against potential encroachments into Americans' right to privacy. One important thing Martin notes right at the start, projecting future trends is not synonymous with predicting specific events. We don't have that capacity. There is no way to consistently predict when and where terrorists will strike, what kinds of environments will begin to produce the kinds of radicalized people that are inclined to commit terrorism. And that requires, that really requires mind reading. And frankly, I hope we never get to that point. Much of this chapter consists of overviews. The first one addresses near-term projections. Does terrorism come in discrete secular waves, which is one of David C. Rappaport's theories? If so, does that put our intelligence and law enforcement agencies in a position to better identify and predict when you're going to get an upsurge of terrorist activity? Martin then returns to the idea of terrorist environments, surveying kind of the persisting sources of terrorism. Economic injustice and political misery are two important ones. Third, Martin explores what we know about new threats. Can we predict that as new technologies emerge, will terrorist entrepreneurs find ways of innovating and harness that technology in the service of their political ends? Fourth, Martin has a section on controlling terrorism and surveys the list of policies that governments can undertake to counter a terrorist threat. The temptation to believe in silver bullets is ever present, but most often government policies that have successfully countered the threat of terrorism have come from a variety of different directions. They come at the problem from a variety of angles. Lastly, Martin offers some final considerations. He notes that the U.S. will continue to face serious threats from terrorism, both international and domestic, both from the violent left and the violent right, and these threats require a robust response and significant investment in law enforcement, intelligence capabilities, and specialized military capacities. This week we only have the forum and the quiz due this week, but we are heading into the final stretch. So let's stay on top of things and start reviewing the Unit 3 material. I would also note that the third short writing assignment is due in week 16. And our unit forum for week 16 will be based on that assigned reading. So I would consider giving that article a read this week if you have the time. Let's have a great week.